Now we can see that there are some nulls here, right? And the reason why the null is occurring is these particular employees did not specify their country. They just said remote. Okay. So we are going to leave it like that for them. Okay. How do we do that change? Right click on the country column header, navigate to replace values, and this time around we can inspect to make sure we are doing the right thing. Look at remote, you can see that everywhere you see remote there is now in the other column. Okay. So it means that we can replace all the nows with what? Remote. Replace values, navigate to what value am I to find? That is what Power Query is asking you. Say find now, replace with what? Remote. Click OK. So now we've gotten rid of the now. Okay, good.
Okay.
So you can see now we have our city, we have our country, we have our full time. Our data is looking good. We have employee start here. That's good. Then we don't need this column anymore. We will deal with it later. Okay, good. Now we can see the gender column. We have some nouns in there. It means that some people did not fill their gender. Okay. Now in the advanced world, we have diverse types of different types of genders, right? So in this case, the person might prefer not to specify their gender. So in this case, the advice is go and see the database data engineers and ask them why the data is appearing like that. Or if it's an employee data, then it means we go to the HR to ask why it's appearing that way. You don't change anyone's gender and then commit yourself and get yourself sued. So you just have to find out before you touch that information. If there's nothing to be done, the best option to do is to replace the now with prefer not to say. You get it?
Okay.
Yeah. So go to the gender column, right click, and go to replace values. Then we are going to specify that if you see a now, indicate that the person preferred not to say. So prefer not to say. We are good to go. Now if we look at our column, there are some empty spaces there, very tiny, and we can't really see it. So the best thing to do is to select. You can see if you look here, look at this one. So I can't zoom, so sorry. Okay, so if you look at Wayne, there's a space before the name. Okay, and then Lena to the same thing, there's a space before the name. So how do we handle such issues? You select the column, then you navigate to format. Okay, under transform, because we don't want to create a new column. Under transform, select the name, navigate to format, and you will see trim. Okay, you see trim. So trim removes leading and trailing white spaces from each cell in the selected column. So just click on trim, and then the text is well aligned for us. Okay. We do same for the gender column. Navigate to format, click on trim to get everything set for us. Good. The next step is to change the name here. This one is just his name, so we say full name. Okay. Full name. Good. Now, I think our data is looking good. The salary column, you should give it a currency format. So you select the data type, then you select currency. Okay. This one you do it based on condition. If you go to if the data set is a Ghanaian currency, you leave it like that. When you send the data to Power BI, in Power Pivot, there's a tool that you can use to specify the exact currency you are working with. Probably you can also do that in Excel as well. Okay, so that is it. Currently it's dollar, so we are going to format it as US dollar and leave it like that. And then what else do we have here? Okay, I think we are good to go with the data. We don't need the FTE column, so either right click. How do we remove columns? So in data analysis, preparing data for analysis, we usually do remove columns after doing our data cleaning. Then right click, go to remove columns, or you, assuming that these are the columns you want to keep, just these two columns, city, country, full-time, full-time or part-time, okay? This, it doesn't really make sense. Let's select the employee name as well, so it makes sense. And these are the only columns we need. Right click, then go to remove
Mhm.
other columns. You can see all the other columns will disappear. We have the what? The employee name. I'm going to move this to the beginning. So we have the employee name, the city they are from, their country, and whether they are full-time or part-time employees. This is how you handle data like this. So that is when you want to remove other columns. Very easy. You select your columns you need, remove other columns. I don't want to do this, I need my data back. Now, this is where the importance of the apply steps section in Power Query presents itself. So under the apply steps, any data cleaning step I implement, the apply steps section records it. So apply steps records it. It locks my steps. So it's kind of like a data cleaning documentation tool for us to trace back all our data cleaning steps. Okay. So I just did
Mhm.
this. I want to revert back to the way my data was. I just navigate to the apply steps section and then click on, so you see the close button here, click on the close button, and then click on this one too. And you can see I've returned back to the way my data was. Okay, so in this way, anytime you implement or apply a particular data cleaning technique and that is not what you really wanted to do, or you didn't get the desired result you needed, you can just navigate to the apply steps and then cancel it. Now, this also serves as a documentation for your teams. If anyone is in the data analytics team, they want to track what you did in cleaning the data, they can come to the apply step section and then navigate through step by step to see what you did. Makes work very easy and faster. Good. Now I don't need this column, right? So I showed you the first way of doing it. Right click, go to remove column, or under home, you have choose column. Assuming that the columns are a lot and you don't want to be removing them one by one. Okay. You go to choose columns, you click on it, all the list of your columns will appear, and then you uncheck the box for the columns you don't need. So I'm going to uncheck the box for FTE, click OK, and then the column disappears. So these are some of the ways you can use to remove columns. Okay, good. Now we have add column. Am I going too fast?
No, it's fine.
Okay, good.
It's very fine.
Okay. Now we have the view tab. Okay, in the view tab, we have column quality, column profile, column distribution. I'm actually using this data set to teach you almost everything. Okay, so I'm taking advantage of the data to teach you everything so that your your part can move very fast and then we can move on to more advanced projects. Okay, so
Sure.
we have the view tab. With the view tab, we can what? Locate column distribution, column profile, column quality. Column distribution show column value distribution in the data preview. When I check this box, you can see I get to know how many distinct values and unique values I have in my what column. And I don't really need this one. What I really need is, I think, column profile. Yes, the column profile. So column profile will tell me whether I have duplicates in the dataset. So I don't have to select the city. I rather need the employee ID. Note that the employee ID is the unique ID for each employee. So if the employee ID repeats 2 times, then it means that that employee record is in the system twice. So we have to remove duplicates. Do you get it? That is
Yeah.
that is what the reason why we inspect using the employee ID. So now I can check and I can see that there are some employees that their information have repeated 2 times. You can clearly see that. You see, so it's two, and these people have their IDs repeating just once. You get it? That's the reason why
Mm.
we have the count to be 270 what 6, and a distinct to be 400, 200 and what 41. You get it? So what do we
Yeah.
do to handle this? We now that we know that they are duplicates, we go to our home tab. Okay, we have
Mm.
remove rows. Okay, so we click on the drop down arrow, navigate to duplicates. We click on what
Mm.
remove duplicates. We click on this, and then the duplicates remove duplicates have been implemented. We go back to our view and inspect to see whether our duplicate columns have been removed. So we have the counts to be what 241, distinct to be 241, unique to be 241. So we are good to go. We don't have any issue with duplicate values anymore.
Mm.
Good. So that is how you inspect to remove duplicates. Good.